Hey guys, I'm going to explain why you can manifest whatever you want and even whatever you can imagine, even though to you it seems impossible. And then I'm actually going to tell you a hack that is so broken that you're not going to want to use it. Okay, but with this, you will be able to just know that at any given time you can hack the video game. But also I will explain why this is so broken that like even I don't use it most of the times, and then I still use it from time to time to just make things more simple when I want to manifest something. So how does it work? Well, I will mention something that is called architecture of reality or frequencies. And basically, even though our reality seems like physical, it's made of pixels that are vibrating, and you call those atoms. But really, it's like a sound sculpture that is consolidated. It is consolidated in the state of physicality, so it appears exactly how it is designed to appear, mm, for your enjoyment, for your pleasure, for your gaming pleasure. Now, basically, you can think about your computer games, and even though it's a flat screen, there is a world inside of it, and the world is designed to appear exactly how it is supposed to appear. It has depth, it has width, it has space, and your video game character walking through that imagined environment, and the environment appears in a certain type of way. Okay, so right now you're experiencing this type of environment, and your avatar and your personal desires and your personal limitations, they're also designed within this environment. Now, outside of the screen of this reality, you're just pure consciousness. So you don't have this avatar, you don't have a personality, you don't have a shape and a form. And if you as consciousness will go in a different reality inside of this multiverse, you could embody a Pokemon, and you could be talking like, and you could be bouncing with your friends and running and chasing falling carrots. And basically these type of realities exist, but that's outside of the point. In this human construct, you have something that's called heaven and hell. Now, this is not like hell is, we imagine hell, there is a barbecue and all these like demons are roasting you in the internal fire, and you're like tied up on the grill, and you're like being baked, and then you're being eaten by these demons, which is a very cartoonish representation. But yeah, there is like there are architects of this reality, and the reality is kind of paid to play. So whenever you are immersed and you're spending your awareness and you're spending your emotions in chasing different stuff, you're actually paying these architects that are making up these games. So you can say like demons, they're creating these labyrinths or entertainments inside of this reality, where you get into this entertainment, you are chasing some kind of reward or whatever, you're chasing some kind of lifestyle, and you're really paying the architects. Now, who is the architects or these demons? We are all the architects, because we are all making now some kind of YouTube channels or something where we are also chasing views from other people. So it's not that they're things other than you. This whole reality is basically you. But now, in the bandwidth of frequency ranges of, let's say, heaven is the highest frequency and then hell is a lower frequency, this is what happens. When you're in this highest frequency, And let's say you're still experiencing this world from your avatar, and you imagine a carrot. In this highest frequency, there is zero differentiation between the subject and the object. What you imagine is you. And so you perceive the world inside of your consciousness without duality. Everything is one seamless picture, including your body and including the world outside of you. All of this is oneness. So this is called unity consciousness. And because there is no distinction between subject and the object, in this fast frequency, higher frequency, if you imagine a carrot, the carrot appears. So you can rearrange the world around you, okay, or objects around the subject without any storyline, without any effort, without any steps. You simply rethink something how it should appear simultaneously. So you can say this highest frequency of reality is very cartoonish or animated. It's really fast frequency, meaning the frame rate of your thoughts and how reality updates outside of you. It's synchronous. Okay, so we experience synchronicity sometimes when we are in a lower frequency. I will explain how it works. We start to experience more synchronicities, that is, thoughts are automatically reflected in reality outside of you. It means you're raising the frequency. You're going into this higher mode, higher mode. Now, how does lower frequency actually works? Because it's a video game design. I will try to explain it also from the perspective of video game immersion. So let's say from this very unified experience of subject and object, so that would be me and the carrot. If you go one bandwidth lower, there would be 1 degree of separation. So I would now experience somebody else or a carrot or a person as separate actually. I would not see them. How? My mind will actually create a simulation where it inserts 1 degree of separation. Now, how can I also explain this 1 degree of separation? Simply, you're not perceiving the carrot or the other person as one with yourself, but there is a layer of interpretation that your mind projects, where this object now, external object like the carrot or really anything here, through the projection of your own mind, has an identity. So even though this whole environment is still the same as you are, okay, it's all happening within your consciousness. So the environment is still oneness. But now your mind is interpreting this object as the other. But 1 degree of separation is not so much, because still you can see something as other than yourself, but you can also choose to see it as one with yourself. Okay. Now, the further you dilute the frequency, the more degrees of separation are inserted there. So you would go from 2 to 4 and then to 8 and then to 16 and 32 and 64. So going down these floors from heaven to, quote, hell, you're coming into an environment when your mind has so many architectural storylines and projections about what reality is that you could be a dog chasing its own tail. Like you could see, like if I had a tail and I saw it and my tail waves and I can't realize that this is myself, I can just be chasing the tail. So what we do in a lower frequency bandwidth, we're chasing the carrot, but the carrot is projection of our own mind. The object and the subject are one, but we don't see that. So let's say we imagine the carrot, or we imagine the money, or whatever you imagine. Like even your dream partner, like dream boyfriend, dream girlfriend, it's so trippy because through the mind you create all these stories of yourself not being that, not having that, and then you romanticize and you put carrots and money and girlfriends and boyfriends on pedestal, and then you create this whole narrative how you're gonna get to that, and that becomes your hero's journey. It's really just a storytelling device that your mind separates the journey to the carrot into 64 steps. If you were in the higher frequency, you would see that the carrot is already here. And when you see and think that the carrot is already here, this is what we do when we manifest. We imagine something already being here, and then you know what? Carrot shows up in your reality. And your ideal partner shows up in your reality, and $1 million shows up in your reality. But here's the thing, does it show up just like that because you dissolve the 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2 levels of separation, degrees of separation, and you just go into oneness with the carrot? Or you are imagining a carrot and you're manifesting a carrot, but you need to have 64 steps of the journey before you get to it. Okay? And then how we actually devise storylines to get to the money, the carrot, the watermelon, the whatever, it can be very, very complex, but it's a playground. So let me just give you an exemplification how this is a playground. It is a playground because if you make a plan to get $1 million, not by sitting and the $1 million materializes in front of you, but you are in 64 degrees of separation, you're going to have a story to tell, because you're going to learn this, how to, make viral videos. Then you're going to learn what people want. That you're going to learn how to make ice cream. Then you're going to make viral videos about making ice cream. Then you're going to create online shop that you sell ice cream, but then you're going to have to figure out how to ship ice cream globally because it melts or something. And then you're going to invent instant ice cream that is basically a powder that people can mix with water and then freeze it, and then they get the most delicious ice cream, and you're going to sell it all over the world. And guess what? You're going to make $10 million, but you started with just wanting to manifest $1 million. And then you're going to make a YouTube video, you're going to write a book about your success or your autobiography. Now on YouTube, everybody is telling stories about how they succeeded in some kind of journey. And so you have a hero's journey because the carrot or the whatever was the goal of your endeavors was split in these many, many steps. Now, this gives us, in the human game of life, actually gamification. So this hell is basically just gamification. And you want to experience storytelling. So this is why you imagine that the carrot is hard to get. You put it on a pedestal, you say that you don't have it, you make yourself believe that you don't have it, and then you have to devise some really complex strategy how to get to the carrot from your current point of view. Unless you just drop the story, raise your frequency, merge with the carrot, because you already exist in this level where you are already one with it. In this case, the carrot appears in front of you and you don't have to lift a finger, because this is also just a different perspective on reality and how it works. It's called manifestation. So, what do we do with this? Well, I suggest, let's compare something. If I told you there is a fruit of immortality that grows on a tree, on a tallest mountain, but to get to this mountain, you have to cross 7 rivers. You have to swim seven rivers before you get to the tallest mountain. And then the fruit is very scarce because it does not grow every year. It grows every 70 years, or even like every 500 years. And in 2025, it's exactly 500 years since the last time that this fruit of immortality has been picked by a previous some dude that became immortal. And we find an example. We bring this dude. He's a yogi from India, already like living 600 years. He was the person that picked the fruit the last time. And we actually bring him, and he gives a testimonial and tells about how his body is not aging and he's been living for 500 years. And it's a holy grail. It's, Indiana Jones, the whole freaking adventure to go and search for the Holy Grail. So people actually went on this endeavor, and even like Nazis had these whole expeditions looking for this. So it's an amazing story, it's an amazing plot, and nobody in this level of 64 degrees of separation, we don't actually remember that we are immortal already. Because we don't see that reality. We see the complex storytelling narratives of our mind that is only possible to create in 64 degrees of separation. So only enlightened people actually know, those ones that meditate and go into this high frequency. They understand, okay, this whole thing is a freaking video game. Yeah. But normally you're immersed in a video game, you don't remember that you came from the higher frequency down into this complexity in order to have a narrative. And now I tell you, this is exactly the year where we can pick the fruit, but you have to swim the 7 rivers. Inside of each of 7 rivers there is a monster. So you have to defeat the 7 monsters, okay? And then swim across 7 rivers, and then climb the tallest mountain, and then pick the fruit. And it's this year, but it grows only 1 fruit. On this tree, it grows only 1 fruit, so now everybody has to race. And this would give everybody passion and desire to overcome these obstacles, because the reward... Now, obviously, all of this seems like a fairy tale, and maybe it's not relevant, but if I told you it's $10 million, well, you would think it's more relevant, because in our current day and age, it's all about the money. The money is this carrot or God that we're chasing. Now, maybe you want immortality, but my story does not sound very plausible. And if somebody tells you on the internet today that they have created the AI agent that works for them and it created them $10 million revenue, it's more appropriate to this day and age. But you have 7 chakras, and each of these is a gateway for the next frequency of your consciousness. And if you defeat the monster in each of these 7 rivers, and you come to this peak of the mountain, the fruit of immortality is right inside of you, okay? But the mind, your mind and the narrative that it is creating is actually each level of the monster that you have to cross, because there is a sort of embedded storytelling spoiler alert. In each of your chakras, as you're ascending through these rivers and you're going to pick the fruit of immortality, there is a spoiler alert that's going to tell you, well, if you go to this next level, all the way to the mountain of immortality, you're actually sacrificing the gameplay, the gamification, the story narrative that worked for you in a previous level of complexity. So kind of like becoming enlightened, you're going to see the illusion of your previous whatever, like you were in this complex narrative tripping balls. It wasn't actually real. So you have to surrender and die, and have to be actually devoured by this critical monster, because it's a spoiler alert. And then you get on the next level and you realize, oh my God, I'm still alive, but I'm not that person that lives in that level of complexity. And each next chakra is going to lead you throughout the levels of complexity where there are normal levels of complexity, and you see the environment as yourself. Now, when you see the environment as yourself, even manifestation becomes supernatural or instantaneous or miraculous. I don't know how to call it, because it does not need a linear storyline how something gets to you. things that don't need to come to you through, I don't know, any kind of storytelling. You don't need to move, you don't need to think, you don't need to talk, you don't need to walk, you don't need to buy something online, you don't need to lift a finger. You can just imagine carrots, and carrots arrive into your reality, and they can even appear out of nothing. But yeah, you need to go into meditation to practice that. And I did it, and it was crazy. And it still is. So this is now a dichotomy, okay, that you want to tell the story and you want to go the hero's journey, but if there's no story, you already have the carrot. And what can you do with this? Well, I could tell you how you can automate certain things in your life to just be defaulted and just be there all the time. And you can go to a complex hero journey for other things where you actually want to have some gamification, when you want to have some struggle, when you want to feel the tension of overcoming obstacles. But already this video is going for a little bit long, and I feel like maybe I've said enough, but let's jam if you're vibing with this information. Maybe you want to drop a comment and tell me how this sounds, and was this already available for you previously, or this is something new that you're hearing. And if you like to learn more about architecture of your reality and how to manifest, then subscribe to my channel and drop a like, and I will see you in the next episode, okay? Bye bye.